We are live at Memorial Stadium on the campus of the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana for State Championship Football 2000. Hello, I'm Lee Hall, and I'll be with you throughout tonight's telecast. The 3A State Championship to be decided tonight between a couple of teams who have never won a state championship, Oregon and Harrisburg. We've crowned 2 state champions already today, Carthage in 1A, Stillman Valley just won in 2A. They are from the same conference as Oregon, the Big Northern Conference, so they could have 2 state champions in the same conference tonight. We're going to go upstairs for the play-by-play at tonight's game to Jim Spencer and Jim Covert. Gentlemen.
All right, thank you, Lee Hall. Jim Spencer here, Jim Covert over there, and you mentioned, Lee mentioned the fact that these 2 teams, Oregon and Stillman Valley, the 2A champ, they're from the same conference, and ironically, Oregon's only loss this season was to Stillman Valley.
They're certainly used to seeing good competition, Jim, and they have good competition tonight in the Harrisburg Bulldogs. I think we're in for a great football game.
Now let's see how these 2 teams got here to this state championship game. First of all, for Oregon, they knocked off Eureka, Byron Seneca, and Addison Driscoll in the semifinals. Average score of those games, 35-8 in favor of Oregon. And on the other side, Harrisburg has steamrolled its way into this state championship game, knocking off its 4 opponents by an average score of 41-14. Freeburg, Robinson, Wheaton St. Francis, and Mount Carmel have all found out how good this Harrisburg offense is, Jim.
Well, that's right, Jim, and I happened to have a chance to talk to Bill Barrs, St. Francis coach this week, and they were 19-14 at half, and they thought that Harrisburg was surprised to have that kind of game thrown at them. So they turned it up a notch, though, and really steamrolled them in the second half.
So it's a matchup of the high-powered offense, the quick-strike offense of Harrisburg, and the smash-mouth offense of the Oregon Hawks. Now for the introduction of the starting lineups for tonight's game, we go to public address announcer Jeff Fritzen.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are your starting lineups for tonight's Class 3A State Championship. First for the Hawks from Oregon, head coach John Bothy. The starting defense for Oregon, at defensive end number 86, Pat Jones. At tackle number 66, Andy Ballard. At tackle number 56, Ross Whalen. At end number 46, Matt Kalnins. At nose guard number 68, Justin Jacobs. At linebacker, number 73, Mike Bailey. At linebacker, number 57, Garrett Miners. At defensive back, number 7, Chad Messer. Defensive back, number 24, Tony Pedroza. At defensive back, number 10, Eric Berg. And at defensive back, number 34, Daniel Whalen. Now the starting lineup for the Harrisburg Bulldogs. Head coach Al Way. At end number 86, Travis Butler. At tackle number 78, Travis Gerals. At guard number 62, Tyler Rumsey. At center number 50, Matt Aschel. At guard 64, Chris Stokich. At tackle 79, Joe Speaks. At end number 81, Alan Hurd. At quarterback number 16, Kyle Smith-Peters. At running back number 11, Braden Jones. At running back number 44, Nathan Potts. And at running back number 33, Brad Brashear.
Jim Spencer and Jim Covert back in the booth here at Memorial Stadium in Champaign on this Friday night. First up, let's look at some of the key players for this ball game tonight. First for Oregon, and they've got a big guy up front on both sides of the ball, Andy Ballard.
They sure do, Jim. Andy Ballard's an all-stater. He's going to have to be mobile tonight on defense. 13 sacks. A couple sacks could make a difference this evening. And then we have, of course, number 24, Tony Pedroza. They have 3 1,000-yard rushers in their backfield, and Tony's that wingman will be in motion, and the counter plays are real big tonight, I think, for the Hawks.
And for Harrisburg, they have got a burner. 4.5 speed in the 40 by the name of Braden Jones.
Braden Jones is an all-state linebacker, but he catches the ball for 43 yards a catch, and we're going to see him running all over the field tonight. He scored 18 touchdowns. He's a Division I prospect.
And at linebacker, Tyler Rumsey.
And Tyler Rumsey, he's a hard-nosed, smash-mouth defensive player. Leading tackler, here we go.
And the ball game is underway. Oregon kicking off. It is fielded at about the 15-yard line, and off the left side of the field, the return man for Harrisburg, number 32, Blake Emery, takes it out to about the 25 or 26-yard line. That is where the Bulldogs of Coach Alway will take over. Here is the starting offensive line. Butler, Speaks, Stokich, Oshel, Rumsey, Geralds, and Hurd. They average across the front 260 pounds. The quarterback, Kyle Smith-Peters, is averaging 40 yards per completion this season. Brad Brashear, Braden Jones, and Nathan Potts are the running backs. Up to the line of scrimmage are the Bulldogs. They are moving into the wind here in the first quarter. From south to north, wind out of the northeast tonight, and it will be a factor in the ball game. The ball is loose. It's a fumble picked up by the Hawks, running towards the end zone and down at about the 2-yard line. It's Andy Ballard, one of the guys we talked about on the pregame. He comes up with a big play on defense immediately.
We just talked about Ballard and what happened. Brad Brashear, as he's motioning in here, the ball's put on his hip. That's a timing play. Tough play for the first play of a football game. Ballard's on the spot making the big play, and Brashear makes the tackle. Otherwise, it's 6 points right off the bat for Oregon.
So here come the Hawks up to the line of scrimmage. They have it at the Harrisburg 2. A chance to punch in and take the early lead. They're going to give it to the fullback. Akins, touchdown, Hawks.
What a way to start a game, Jim. What a momentum builder. And that's the kind of confidence builder you need if you're, I don't know if you could be called an underdog at 12-1, but quick hitter to the fullback Akins, and it's up 6-0 right away.
Just the second time all season that Harrisburg has trailed in a game. That's amazing. For the extra point, it's Andy Ballard again. And he's good. So we're just 12 seconds into the first quarter. A fumble and a recovery by the Hawks and a touchdown run from 2 yards by Akins. Oregon has the lead, 7-0. You're listening. You're not listening. You're watching the IHSA television network. Back at Memorial Stadium, Oregon to put it back in play. The Hawks quickly on top, 7-0. Ballard with a deep kick. It's into the end zone. In high school football, that's an automatic touchback, so the Bulldogs will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
And, Jim, I think that's probably the best thing you could do is kick with the wind and put it in the end zone. Keep it away from Jones and Brashear, those burners who run track. Look at that point spread for Harrisburg.
And now we're going to look at the Oregon defense up front. Pat Jones, Andy Ballard, Justin Jacobs, Ross Whalen, and Matt Calnan. And the linebackers and defensive backs, Mike Bailey, Garrett Miners, Eric Bird, Chad Metzer, Daniel Whalen, and Tony Pedroza. Harrisburg back up to the line of scrimmage. They toss it left. That's Brashear. He's got running room and speed out across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. It's a first down for the Hawks in this, for the Bulldogs in this Harrisburg offense. High-powered, averaging 48 points per game. They have scored 46 points or more for 11 consecutive games, and in the playoffs, averaging 51 points.
That's a lot of points, and they're not going to panic. There's a lot of time left here. We're just starting the ball game. Should be exciting.
So up to the line of scrimmage, and they give us up the middle. The fullback Potts carries across the 35. to about the 36-yard line. Correction, it was not Potts, my mistake. Braden Jones with the carry. And Braden Jones, we talked about him and his speed and all that he can do, an all-stater.
And it's going to be very important for the secondary of the Hawks to really key in on Braden Jones, because they'll play action pass to him, and he can get on your cushion in a lot of different ways.
Second down and 7 after the 3-yard run by Braden Jones. Straight T backfield, and it's going to be Brashear with the carry, breaking tackles. He's got first down yardage close to midfield before he's brought down.
Outstanding run, and out of the full house T formation we'll see, and Braden Jones is going to block for Brashear here on the left side, and there's your cross buck action. 33 Brashear cutting inside, and there's Braden Jones inside, filling that seam and getting his teammate an extra 8 to 10 yards.
There you saw Brashear coming in, averaging over 13 yards per carry this season. A first down for the Bulldogs, just shy of midfield, trailing 7-0 here in the early going. This time it's going to be Braden Jones off the right side. He fights his way forward and gets to about the Oregon 45 before he's bugged under by a couple of Hawks.
And Tyler Rumsey, who we mentioned earlier, was out pulling in front of him, and that's 260 pounds of mobile linemen leading the way on that counter play.
So Harrisburg will run and run and run, try to get you to suck a lot of guys into the tackle box, and then they're going to beat you with the play-action pass, or try to beat you with the play-action pass, as you see 20-year Harrisburg coach Al Way looking for his first state championship. Second down and about 4 here for Harrisburg. And it's the fullback Potts this time. He's carrying tacklers with him out across the 40, down to about the 36-yard line. It's going to be another first down for the Hawks.
And Nathan
for the
Potts,
Bulldogs, my mistake.
Nathan Potts, 216-pound fullback. That's a lot of fullback, and you'll see him hit off the left side here. Potts going to be coming in right in off the tackle spot, guard tackle seam, right up there with a little trap fold block, and look at him break through tackles. That's a good back. When you get hit, always get positive yardage after the hit, Jim.
3 first downs on this drive for the Bulldogs. And they're going to give it to Braden Jones. He's hit in the backfield and brought down. The Oregon defense swarming that time to the ball carrier. It goes for a loss. Now let's look at the keys to this ball game for both teams. First, Jim, for Oregon.
Well, for Oregon, offensively, they need to get some counter plays off that great wing T offense of theirs. And again, as I mentioned just a minute ago, they must cover Braden Jones. He'll be a wideout in this game, also a tight end, work out of the backfield. For Harrisburg, they need to play action pass a little bit, and then they need to force Oregon to throw the ball because they don't throw the ball very much.
Second down and 12. Receivers go left and right on this play. Smith-Peters looking to throw, airs it out to Braden Jones. He makes the catch and gets down to about the 27-yard line and just a couple of yards shy of a first down.
And that's what we're just talking about. The secondary of the Hawks are really going to need to keep an eye on Braden Jones. You'll see him now. He moves from the backfield out to a wide position as we get a tight end zone shot. Just a hitch pattern. Smith-Peters comes over the top. You get one-on-one out there. You need some help as a cornerback as Messer makes a tackle. Quarterback, defensive back.
Short yardage situation for Harrisburg's 260-pound offensive line. And it's the fullback with the carry, Potts. And he didn't need to get much. He didn't get much on the play. So let's see where they spot it and whether or not it's a first down for the Bulldogs.
Nice defensive line play there, though, Jim. They tried to string it out, and you get the big guys going east and west instead of north and south. You got a chance to stop them.
So Harrisburg, known for its quick strike offense, Jim, this has been kind of a methodical, grind it out kind of drive.
Well, I think after the first play, they came out with 4 wide, double tight motion, tried a more of a trick play. I think he wants to get them back in sync.
Straight T formation backfield. George Hallis of the Bears would be proud of this formation for the Bulldogs. Smith-Peters takes and gives it to Braden Jones right up the middle, and he dives down to about the 22-yard line. There you see we're going to see the officials for the ball game coming up. And there they are.
Got a big job tonight. As long as they're consistent, I think both coaches and both teams will be very pleased.
So now it's going to be second down and 7. 9 plays on this drive. 8 of them have been on the ground for the Bulldogs. This time it's going to be Braden Jones again, trying to get up. Correction, it was Brashear with the ball carrier, and he's going to be across the 20 and pushed back, so a third down play is coming up.
And they did fake the ball to Jones, as you'd mentioned, and with those three backs in the backfield, both teams have that, Jim. Oregon and Harrisburg, three great running backs.
Let's take a look at how these teams match up size-wise for the Bulldogs offense. Again, 260 pounds across the line compared to just a 190-pound average per man for the Hawks defensive line. Third down and 3. They give it to Potts, the fullback. He's got the first down and more inside the 10, fights his way forward to about the 6-yard line.
And what was great there was Brad Brashear, his backfield teammate, threw a great block there as the back on the right side, and Potts has done that for him many times, being a 216-pounder, but that's how teammates develop a respect for each other, when they block for each other.
6 minutes and 22 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Oregon scored first after recovering a fumble at the 2-yard line inside of Harrisburg territory. Now the Bulldogs trying to answer. First and goal at the Oregon 6. They go with that straight T backfield. Smith Peters, the quarterback, takes. It's a give up the middle, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Bulldogs. It's the fullback Potts, and Harrisburg a point away from tying the ball game up.
It's the same play we saw earlier in the series. Real nice inside play. Potts hits right up between that center and left guard. Here's a shot coming right at us. As we'll see, Ballard moves over a little bit, but they still run just inside him. He drops his shoulder and runs through a defender for the touchdown. Great play.
Roth Clayton for the conversion for Harrisburg. The left-footed kicker puts it towards the uprights, and it is good. So with 6:02 to go in the first, we're all even. 7-7 for Mr. Potts. That was his 26th rushing touchdown of the year. He leads the team in that category.
Well, he's a big young man, but I'll tell you what, Jim, he gets yards on contact every time, every one of these backs does. Harrisburg scoring drive, 12 plays, 80 yards, 5 minutes and 46 seconds. And I think Oregon's only run one offensive play, right? So they're chomping at the bit to come right back down the field.
Right now in total offense, it's 65-2 in favor of Harrisburg. But again, Oregon hasn't had an opportunity. Most importantly, on the scoreboard, it's 7-7. So now it'll be Roth Clayton getting ready to put it back in play for Harrisburg. He will be kicking into the wind here, and back deep for Oregon is going to be Pedrosa and Whalen.
Two of their three over 1,000 yards apiece for those two young men, along with Aiken. So they spread the ball around a lot. Oregon's offense is Bob Reed ran it at Augustana. A lot of misdirection. They use that wingback, fullback, and halfback, and then they set you up for the bootleg and option also. So Harrisburg will have their hands full, defending the same kind of a running attack, actually, only out of a different formation.
Exactly. A lot of the same plays, but just a different look to start everything for both of these two teams. So Roth Clayton has it teed up. Whalen and Pedrosa back deep for the Bulldogs. Nice high kick. It's going to be returnable at about the 11-yard line. It's Whalen looking for running room to the 20. He's got some to the 25. Breaks the tackle 30. Daniel Whalen all the way out to the 35-yard line before he's brought down. Now we're going to look at the Oregon offensive starting lineup after that 24-yard kickoff return by Whalen. Up front, Dave Wubin, Andy Welp, Bill Sunnison, Andy Ballard, and Clayton Wemhofer. And the backs and receivers, quarterback Chad Messer, Daniel Whalen, Tony Pedrosa, Shane Akins, all over 1,000 yards on the ground in the backfield. And they're going to feed the fullback up the middle on the first play for not much. For Oregon, that fullback is Shane Akins, the guy who scored the touchdown earlier. Doesn't get much on 1st and 10 for the Hawks. And now the Harrisburg defense. Potts, Scott, Hancock, Potts, and McDonald up front for the Bulldogs, and the linebackers, the secondary, Rumsey, Hurd, Jones, Brashear, Emery, and Smith Peters. They toss it left to Whalen, and he's going to go nowhere. mugged under by a swarming Harrisburg defense. It's going to be 3rd and long for the Hawks, and this is exactly the situation that Harrisburg wanted to force Oregon into, a passing situation.
And we're going to see Rumsey and Potts get over there. There's Braden Jones we're looking at again. And good pursuit on the outside to turn Whalen inside on the quick pitch. That's the key. You've got to get that thing turned in where your teammates can pursue and make the tackle.
So let's see what Oregon coach John Bothy calls here. 3rd down and 8 from his own 37-yard line. They're going to run some action. They pitch it back, and it's going to go nowhere again. It was Tony Pedroza, the ball carrier for the Hawks, in a 4th and long situation coming up, a punting situation coming up for Oregon.
Nice job by Jeff McDonald, too. He's not very big. We talk about all the big guys on the field, but number 35, he's only 5'7", 160 pounds. Got in on that for Harrisburg.
Matt Robinson will punt it away for the Hawks. Brashear and Jones go back deep, and if Oregon is, they'll probably try to kick it away from both of them. But this is going to be returnable for Brashear at about the 23-yard line. Brashear dancing and looking for running room, and he's going to be hit and brought down, but not after a fight. Boy, he just refused to go down. Didn't have a lot of room to run, but it was tough to bring him down.
He almost looked like he would think about tossing that ball backwards to his teammate Jones. These two guys are on a relay team together this year on their 4x100. Last year, I think they came in 1st or 2nd in the state.
Exactly. Brashear and Jones were both on Harrisburg's state championship 400-meter relay team from this past season. And actually, Brashear has been on that relay team 2 years in a row, and they've won 2 consecutive state championships in the 400-meter relay. So this time, Harrisburg will go with trips to the right, single back offense, and they're going to toss it to that single back. Brashear off the right side, turns the corner to the 30, breaking tackle, still on his feet. It's Brashear refusing to go down, and he picks up 1st down yardage across the 40.
You can see the Bulldogs are multi-dimensional in their formations, though, Jim. You know, with that trips formation.
And we again compare these two teams on offense. 260-pound offensive line for the Bulldogs compared to 199 for Oregon. And the backs also good size for the Bulldogs, 200 pounds. They're big, not just speedy. So on 1st down from its own 41, Harrisburg up to the line of scrimmage, and we're going to have a timeout called by the Bulldogs. So with 3:40 to go here in the quarter, Coach Al Way calls a timeout. 7-7 is your score here at Memorial Stadium in Champaign. And Al Way, you see him in the middle of the huddle down there in the field. He's not happy with his team right now. He's giving him the riot act, and he expects a lot of this team coming in 13-0, and they've really steamrolled everybody they played this season, with the exception of Mount Carmel back in week number 1.
Well, and Jim, as you say, he's intense, and this is a game to be intense in. I mean, this is the last one of the year. His team's moving into the wind, so he wants to make sure they do not have any mental mix-ups. It looked like they were in a trips formation. I'm a little bit confused, and they do run multiple offensive sets. So he took a timeout, wanted to let the young men know exactly what he wanted. Better safe than sorry, Jim, you know.
Oregon is in the championship game for the first time ever. Actually, this is the first year Oregon has ever advanced past the 2nd round of the playoffs. Now they're playing for the state championship. This is Harrisburg's 3rd trip to the finals. They also went in 1980 and in 1997, losing both times. Back to the action, 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 41. Up the middle, Potts the ball carrier. He's across the 50 and into Oregon territory and very close to another Bulldog 1st down.
And the Bulldogs had their burners outside, but Potts ran inside with an inside trap, it looked like. And here you get a chance. There's a little cross block, beautifully done inside. Drops his shoulder, runs over some more defenders. Real nice inside blocking there.
3.5 to go, 1st quarter. 7-7 is your score. It was another 1st down, the 7th for Harrisburg. Smith-Peters looking to throw. Screens it out to Brashear, and he can't handle the pass in the left flat. So 2nd down and 10 coming up.
And that's the formation they had just the play before with Jones and Brashear out wide. And there was only one defender out there the first time. That was Messer, the quarterback, defensive back. So that's why the Bulldogs came right back with that. If he had made that catch, he had some room to operate with a lead blocker in front of him.
Right now, 99 yards of total offense for the Bulldogs and Coach Alway. You saw him there a moment ago. 3 yards of total offense for the Hawks. But we're tied at 7. Back to a straight T backfield for the Bulldogs. They fake right, come back left. It's Brashear. He's got room to roam. He's across the 30, breaking tackles. Brashear inside the 20, finally wrestled out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. But a huge run by Brad Brashear, and Harrisburg is threatening to score again.
Well, we'll have an opportunity to see this, and Brad Brashear, as we're going to see over here, he's going to be coming out on there it is with quick lineman blocking. And a nice job opening the hole as Brashear with that misdirection in the full house. And again, as a great back, you always break at least one tackle.
There's a penalty flag on the play, however. We didn't see the flag initially, and now we're going to get the word from the referee.
Could be clipping. Blocking in the back. We'll see. You know, Coach Alway's not happy.
The ball's going to be brought back.
We have clipping on the offense. Repeat down.
It is a clip. So it comes back, and that wipes out a 31-yard run by Brad Brashear that had Harrisburg at the Oregon 16. So some mistakes here in the early going for Harrisburg. The fumble that led to Oregon's touchdown, and now a clip negates a long run. So trips left here for the Hawks, correction for the Bulldogs on 2nd and 17. Pass into the flat to Braden Jones. He breaks a tackle, tries to turn on the afterburners, but can't do it. It's a nice pickup on the play.
That was interesting, Jim. They ran that into the short side of the field instead of the wide side of the field. You'll see Smith Peters here take a one-step drop, shoot the hitch pattern, and there's Braden Jones out there one-on-one. And nice pursuit over there by number 73, because if he hadn't been there, it would have been problems. Nice job by Mike Bailey.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 2. Again, a straight T backfield. Potts moves in motion out of the backfield, and Oregon jumped offside, but were they drawn? Were they drawn off?
We just saw a little graphic on Smith Peters. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards this year, and actually, I think he's averaging close to 40-some yards a pass.
Actually, yeah, just shy of 40 yards per pass.
Have a dead ball.
He's
Encroachment on the
27
defense.
passes this year. 15 of those 27 coming into the game went for touchdowns.
A dead ball. Encroachment
So
on the
the
defense.
offside penalty
First down.
on the Hawks gives the Bulldogs a first down at the 35. There's 2:46 left to go here in the first quarter. We're tied 7-7. Again, that straight T backfield. Potts moves in motion left this time, and they toss it left to Braden Jones. Jones, not much room to run there. And before we go to the next play, little football trivia for you. Who has won the most Class 3A football titles? If you know the answer, log on to tv@ihsa.org and email us your answer. It's a chance to win an IHSA hat. Do you know what the answer is?
Good question. I could take a guess, but I don't want to get it right and everybody think that I had all the information ahead of time, Jim.
I understand.
All right.
You're humble, right?
Thank you.
2nd and 8 for the Bulldogs. It's Potts up the middle.
I think we're going to be seeing a play-action pass out of this full house backfield pretty soon, because they've really been pounding away at it. Even though it's into the wind, I'm sure Coach Way is waiting for that wind to be of assistance to his team, and that's why we're not seeing the ball in the air upfield like to your tight ends.
So a 3rd down and long call, 3rd and 7 coming up. About the 32.5-yard line is where the ball is spotted. 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first. Straight T formation backfield. And Smith Peters on play action, screens it out to Brashear in the left flat, makes a man miss, penalty flag comes in. Brashear's got first down yardage. He's going to be forced out of bounds inside the 15 at the 14.
We got a flag again.
Let's see what the preliminary indication is going to be.
I think it's going to be against the Bulldogs, and they did run a nice play-action pass and hit the screen off it.
Once again, it's a clip.
There's Smith Peters faking it. Looks like he's going to a tight end, then throws back to Brashear, And it looks,
there you see the clip right there.
Might have been 78. Just guys hustling, running around, trying to make the big play, you know. And when you get a penalty like this, like happened previously, you get a little impatient if you're a school like Harrisburg, who's been scoring so many points. These guys are saying, hey, come on, we need to get some points.
So that is the second clipping penalty in this drive.
On the offense, repeat third down.
Able to overcome that last penalty. Let's see if they can do it again.
And the officials are right on top of it, and they're making the calls as they see them, and I think they've been pretty accurate. It's just a matter of just a few inches on an angle one way or the other.
Now third down and 24. To the near side of the screen, Braden Jones lined up as a wide receiver. Smith-Peters back to pass, looking towards Jones. Home run ball down the left sideline. The ball is going to be tipped up and incomplete. Great defense by Chad Messer.
And Chad Messer just did an outstanding job there. Just a great job. You needed the best cover man you could put on Braden Jones, and it looks like it's another outstanding athlete, Chad Messer. We'll have a chance to see this play as Messer covers the fade. Smith-Peters drops back. He's going to throw the deep fade into the wind. He has a good arm. And you can see Messer step for step get up for that ball. Great defense, great coverage.
And the quarterback, Kyle Smith-Peters, also the punter for Harrisburg. He's averaging just shy of 32 yards a kick this season. And the punt is away, and we might have running into the kicker, but no, there was contact. No flag flew, and the ball is going to be downed by the Bulldogs at the 27-yard line, and the Harrisburg fans are not happy.
He might have been blocked right into him. That's why I know the official was watching, but of course Harrisburg fans are a little frustrated at the moment themselves. So Oregon has a shot at it again and move the ball with the wind, Jim, but they only have a minute 42 left. Coach Al Way is wondering where the yellow flag is on the other side.
So now the Hawks up to the line of scrimmage. Tight formation, and they're going to give it to Pedrosa off the left side. He's got a little bit of room to run to the 33 before he's brought down. That play looked like it might be going for more than it actually did, Jim.
Well, that was a good job of converging on the ball. But, you know, if you're playing linebacker for the Bulldogs, you've got three backs popping in there, different angles, and Pedrosa was the wing back on that.
You see the Hawks offensive line averaging 227 pounds to compare to 232 pounds for the Bulldogs. Fake first man, and they're going to give it to the second man through the hole. Whalen, he carries out close to first down yardage, and he continues to fight.
Thrown to the ground by Braden Jones there, who's playing outside linebacker, and Whalen is a very good running back. We'll have a chance to see number 34 hit in here. Right there, second back through, as you mentioned. He just runs through a tackle, runs through another. Brad Brashear cannot bring him down by himself, and his partner, Braden Jones, does a little whirling dervish throw. Good for the XFL.
Oregon's first down of the game. We're tied at 7. Less than a minute to go in the first quarter here at Memorial Stadium. Again, it's Daniel Whalen, tries to go off left tackle on that play, and it's good for a couple of yards.
Number 74 did a nice job for Harrisburg on defense there. They're big in the front. Marcus Scott, 6'1", 311 pounds. I would not want to pay the meal bills in that house.
He is a big young man.
And he's mobile.
They do pull him out a lot. They get him out of that normal line position and move him around a little bit for such a big guy. This could be the final play of the first quarter. Second down and 8 for the Hawks. Ball at their own 43. The give is up the middle to the fullback Akins. And he carries forward across the 45, and that's going to do it for the first quarter here at Memorial Stadium in Champaign. Class 3A state championship football game. We're all tied up. Oregon 7 and Harrisburg 7. We're back after this local timeout.
Pictures of each team and other playoff history. Programs are priced at $5 each.
There you see the score of this state championship football game in Class 3A. It's 7-7 here at Memorial Stadium in Champaign. Now the Hawks will move into the wind from south to north, wind out of the northeast. It's going to be a 3rd down and 2 for the Hawks. Messer, the quarterback, fakes to the first man, gives to the second man, and that play is going nowhere. And it's going to be a 4th down call coming up. Whalen was the ball carrier for the Hawks. And let's see what Oregon coach John Bothy will do here.
Blake Emery made a nice tackle there. Defensive back for Harrisburg filled that hole. It's a wishbone. It's early in the game. I think he's making a good decision. 4th and 2 into a wind against a very tough defensive ball club. Hopefully they can get some yardage on their punt and make advantage of it. He'd play some field position, Jim.
Matt Robinson to punt it. Brashear and Jones back deep for the Bulldogs. The kick is away. Line drive and returnable for Jones at the 18. Quickly to the 30. Braden Jones still on his feet, and he's wrestled and thrown down at about the 35-yard line. And before Harrisburg takes over on offense, let's go down to the field where Lee Hall is standing by. Lee, what do you have for us?
All right, Jim, thank you very much. Well, we all know that the communities really get behind their teams, maybe none more so than Harrisburg. They really they went all out. They raised money for shoes. They had a dinner at the firehouse. And we got Jack Nolan and Randy Nyberg with me. Jack, tell me about some of the things you guys were involved in doing. I know you cooked a lot of food at the home games.
Yeah, we've involved with the Boosters Club. We have tremendous community support and so forth. We just had tremendous turnouts. We've been able to turn back into about a little over $25,000 in the last 5 years back into the school system. But we just don't participate in the athletics in turning that money back in. We give it to all the different programs, whether it be the Scholastic Bowl, the Quiz Bowl, the art department, or whatever. But we got tremendous community support, so that makes a big difference.
You got a huge crowd here tonight. Tell me how many sandwiches you guys cooked.
Probably for the last home game we cooked 2,150 sandwiches. Prior to that, in the probably 3 playoff games that we had, we probably cooked close to 4,500 to 5,000.
All right, great. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Harrisburg, great community support down there in southeastern Illinois. Back up to you.
All right, you see that a lot in small communities like Oregon and Harrisburg. The community support that you have that comes out and does things that need to be done to make the team successful. Not just a school thing, but a community thing. So we are back to the action here. Harrisburg with the ball. At their own 46, a 1st down. They give the ball to Potts, the fullback, and he's wrestled down hard after a pickup of a couple.
Andy Ballard in there again. He's mobile.
Let's take a look at the first quarter stats. There you see a big disparity in total offense.
Yeah, that's for sure. 8 first downs there, and the rushing yardage. The thing is, we're counting points, but Harrisburg is starting to control that football, and Oregon needs to make some big stops here on defense.
123 to 23 advantage in total offense in the first quarter. 2nd down and 7. It's a give up the middle. And we're going to have a 3rd down call coming up after a short gain on the play.
I'm real impressed, Jim, with some of the Harrisburg linemen. I'll tell you, Tyler Rumsey pulled on that play, at 260 pounds. They have him watch Tyler Rumsey come and pull out on this play. See him pulling trap and just moving mobile, and Potts falls right in behind him. Nice down blocking. Inside blocking by the center, Matt Oshel.
3rd down and 3. Harrisburg 2 for 3 on 3rd downs today. Smith Peters to throw. He gets it to Brashear. He bobbles it momentarily, then collects it and gets the 1st down. Great job of concentrating by Brad Brashear and picking up the 1st down.
There's athletes all over the field here. Number 34, Daniel Whalen has a chance to come up on this play and make a tackle as we look at Smith Peters from the end zone. Quick hitch pattern, trying to get the ball. It's like a running play there. Pedroza misses a tackle, but Whalen comes in along with his teammate, number 10 on defense, Eric Berg.
And Oregon showing some hard hitting. They've hit Harrisburg hard a number of times here in the ball game tonight. Trips to the right. Smith-Peters looking to throw. Steps up in the pocket. Home run ball for Braden Jones. It's a touchdown.
He hit the seam. They ran a seam in the middle, a skinny post, what you might call, with a fade on the outside, and he laid it out with the wind, and Braden Jones catches it in full stride. And that's that 4 or 5 speed you were talking about, Jim. As we look, here's Smith-Peters. That's the play just before on the short pass, and that sets up the long bomb, which will be the touchdown pass. As he drops off a 5-step drop, Smith-Peters lays it up in the middle, hits him in full stride. You can see on the outside, they had the fade and the seam.
And the extra point attempt by Roth Clayton is no good. So it's a 40-yard touchdown pass. Smith-Peters to Jones, but the conversion fails. So with 9:25 left to go in the second quarter, it is 13-7 in favor of Harrisburg. So on that drive, a 64-yard touchdown drive for Harrisburg. That time they used 5 plays and a minute 44 off the clock. So Oregon got the early break, the fumble, and the short field scoring from 2 yards out after a fumble. Now Harrisburg has come back with 2 touchdowns of its own.
And when you can get those big chunks of the long bombs like that, Jim, just like Smith-Peters hit Braden Jones on, that's how you get that big yardage per catch.
Yeah, Braden Jones is averaging 43.4 yards per catch coming in. He hurt his average there.
I was just going to say,
a 40-yard catch.
That's a shame, isn't it?
So Pedroza and Whalen will go back deep for Oregon. And Roth Clayton kicking with the wind will put it back in play for the Bulldogs, and he has leg capable of putting it in the end zone. That's exactly what Harrisburg wants right here. There you see the details of the Harrisburg scoring drive, 5 plays, 64 yards. Touchdown pass from Smith-Peters to Jones. For Smith-Peters, his 16th touchdown pass of the year. Roth Clayton with the boot. It's deep. It's into the end zone. It's a touchback.
And the wind seems to be a bigger factor, don't you think, Jim, than earlier?
Oh, yeah.
In the day you did the 1A game.
I was here for the 1A game, and there was hardly any wind at all. And now there's a pretty stiff wind out of the northeast. We have the answer to our trivia question, who has won the most 3A. Correction, I guess we'll have that answer for you later.
Okay.
So we'll keep you in suspense a little bit longer. Stay tuned.
Can I guess yet?
Not yet. You're not permitted. Aikens, the fullback, with the carry up the middle. Moves the pile for a couple for the Oregon Hawks, who now trail 13-7.
This is a critical time for the Hawks right now. You know, they're not in great field position. If they don't get a first down or 2, they have to punt into the wind. A lot of momentum going Harrisburg's way. I wouldn't be surprised to maybe see a counter play, wingback counter off this full flow action and try to get Pedroza coming back the other way.
So the Hawks back up to the line of scrimmage. Chad Messer, the quarterback, gives it to Whalen.
Second back through. That's the old inside drive series, Jim, off the belly series. You fake the fullback, give to the second man through. They can run the option off that same type of action. They also have a good bootleg game.
3rd down and 6 call coming up. Will the Hawks put it in the air against the wind? 3rd and 6. Messer, the quarterback, takes, looking to throw, airs it out down the right side. It's well overthrown and incomplete. Intended for number 80, Tim Danielson.
He sure had that set up nicely. Great execution by Chad Messer of the play action faking.
And as promised, we now have the answer to our trivia question: who has won the most Class 3A football titles? The answer is Kankakee Bishop McNamara.
Bishop Mac.
82, 85, 86, and 87. And now most of the time, Bishop Mac will compete in Class 4A or Class 5A. Braden Jones with the punt return to the 50. Braden Jones still on his feet into Oregon territory to the 41-yard line.
Really a nice block by number 32, Blake Emery, on that also to help free up Braden Jones to get that extra yardage. And the Bulldogs are in the kind of field position they'd love to be in right now.
For
For the most up-to-date Illinois high school sports information, click on the IHSA's website for score, standings, and much, much more. The IHSA website is your #1 source. Straight T backfield, Braden Jones turns the corner off the right side and wrestled out of bounds at around the 37-yard line. Around 3 for Braden Jones there. Braden Jones actually didn't become a member of the starting backfield for the Bulldogs until game number 2 of the playoffs. That is when Mike Hancock, who was a normal halfback for the Bulldogs all season, he went down with an injury. Jones was a tight end receiver most of the time, and they said, okay, we'll put this guy with 4 or 5 speed in our backfield. And in the 3 playoff games that he's been in the backfield, he's gone over 100 yards rushing every game. Potts, the fullback, gets the carry this time, and he's down close to the 30 before he's brought down. Looking at some of the scores from earlier today, Carthage in Class 1A, winning its 3rd consecutive Class 1A championship, 14-0 over Northwestern La Harpe. And in Class 2A, Stillman Valley wins its 2nd straight 2A title, knocking off Tolono Unity 35-14. Right here, it's 13-7 in the 3A title game. Harrisburg on top of Oregon. First down and 10 for the Bulldogs, just inside the 30. They toss it to the right. Braden Jones gets some room to roam. Correction, it was Brashear on that carry.
And I'll tell you, Joe Speaks, he's 6'5", 255, number 79. You'll see him lead out here on this quick toss. That's a big lineman. There he is right there, kicking out the corner press, and Brashear cuts inside of it. I've been watching these Bulldog linemen, Jim, and I'll tell you what, all of them really have done a nice job inside. Chris Stuckich, 64, the right guard, the center. Matt Oshel, the whole right side looks like they really come off the football.
Second down and 8. Brashear goes left this time. He's got room to run to the 21-man to beat, and that one man brings him down. Brashear brought down at the 16-yard line.
That was the other side. Travis Geralds. He's a 260-pound lineman. As we see that quick toss to the left, they can run either way. As we have a chance to see Brashear, he'll be coming out here on the quick toss, or the handoff, and a nice hook block by Braden Jones. All of these guys block for each other, and that's why they have such a good football team. There's no selfish players on this team. They spread the ball around.
And we do have a penalty flag. Face masking is the call on Harrisburg. An offensive face masking penalty. You don't see that very often.
Usually it's on the guy who's running with the football. They try to stiff arm, and we'll see if we can see that. But, you know, they put that hand out to stiff arm, and they get the face mask of the defensive player.
So let's see where they're going to end up marking the ball. Right now, it is at the 16 inside of Oregon territory. They're going to march it back to the 31, 15-yard walk-off.
Well, grabbing the face mask on the offense. Repeat second down.
So it'll be a second down call again for the Bulldogs. 12 first downs for the Bulldogs compared to 1 for Oregon.
Third penalty, however, for 45 yards, as we can see down here, and in the graphic, and that has actually hurt him, and it's something that I'm sure Coach Alway is not really excited about, being a perfectionist as most coaches are.
Jones and Brashear are split left and right, and they give it up the middle. And on the carry for Harrisburg, 35, Jeff McDonald, his first carry of the game. And right now we're going to go down to the field where Lee Hall is once again standing by. Lee.
Hi, Jim and Jim. We just had Harrisburg super fans. Now we've got Superman. Yes, the Man of Steel actually resides in Oregon. You're probably used to a little bit warmer weather on the Red Planet, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's a little chilly out here.
Now, next year is really the year to watch for the Hawks, because I understand that you, the Man of Steel, will be joining the team. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to play a little bit. After 3 years of golf, I want to try a little football.
All right. That's it. You heard it here first. The Man of Steel will be in the Oregon lineup. Deer, he doesn't realize that I have kryptonite in my briefcase, and he's in serious trouble. We talked about the fans, the high school students, a big part of the action down here too. Back to you guys.
All right, the Man of Steel resides in Oregon. I thought he was from Metropolis.
I tell you what, he wearing that outfit, he ought to get out there and return kickoffs or punts. You know, forget about the golf. Give it a try. You know, golf's a lifetime sport, though, right?
Exactly. You can only play football when you're young.
That's
you
for
can
sure.
You can play golf till you're old and gray.
This is quite a drive that Harrisburg's been putting together. And, you know, again, the penalties have hurt them. So Coach Alway is probably talking about holding their blacks and good execution. And Oregon really needs a stop here, Jim.
Yes, they do. Already trailing 13-7, 6:05 to go second quarter. 3rd down and 7 for the Bulldogs. Smith-Peters, their quarterback, surveys the scene as he ducks in. He's back to pass. Now they run a late handoff to Brashear. He's looking for running room, breaking tackles. He's got the first down, and he's wrestled down inside the 15 at about the 13-yard line.
That almost looked like a delayed end-around type of play, didn't it? Because he really, as Smith-Peters drops here, you'll see him drop, and it's like almost a Statue of Liberty play. He's dropping back, and it's a hand-back play. Brashear delayed, and then came back around to the left. He's got the ball in the proper arm, protecting the football. Nice stiff arm.
85 yards rushing for Brashear, 10 carries. A first down for the Bulldogs at the Hawk 13-yard line. 5.5 to go second quarter. Straight T formation backfield. Smith-Peters takes. They're going to give it to Brashear off the left side. Breaks a tackle in the backfield. He's got positive yardage around the left side. Around the 4-yard line is where Brashear is brought down.
And he really bounced that one to the outside. You'll see good running backs do that. He had Braden Jones up there as a tight end. His tight end and left tackle, as we see him coming in this way, you'll see him bounce it. He's inside, then he bounces it out around the hook block of number 78, Travis Geralds, and number 11, Braden Jones. They've got a lot of weapons. That's the next thing you know, Potts will get the ball again when he's in that lineup, the big guy.
They go with a straight T backfield. Potts the fullback with the carry again. They spread the offensive joy out, and that time not much joy for Potts. He didn't get the first down.
Yeah, and that's a 216-pound fullback. Nice job by Oregon's defense there. What they really need is to punch the ball out or get some kind of a turnover right here. That would really change the momentum for the Hawks.
There you see some of the Harrisburg cheerleaders trying to get their fans fired up. 13-7, Bulldogs with the lead, and they're looking for more. 3rd down here for Harrisburg. They are 4 for 5 in these situations today. Straight T backfield. They give it to Potts up the middle. Touchdown! Potts his 2nd touchdown of the game, and it's 19-7 in favor of the Bulldogs.
He got north and south. He got north and south that time, as you'll see him, and Braden Jones is going to lead right up the hole as Potts hits in here. And you'll see Braden Jones right there make contact. His lead blocker, that's another blocker, a 215-pound blocker. And I'll tell you what, Harrisburg has players that could play at any level, I think, Jim.
Yeah, this is a very
5A, 6A, 4A. I mean, I'm looking at the way these young men move around and hit and play football.
And Harrisburg going for 2. Potts moves in motion out of the backfield. They toss it to the right. It's Brashear looking for running room, and there's none to be found. The 2-point conversion is no good. So with 4:08 left to go second quarter, it is now Harrisburg 19 and Oregon 7. We're going to take a timeout. This is the IHSA Television Network. After Oregon struck first, the Bulldogs of Harrisburg High School in Saline County in Southern Illinois have reeled off 19 unanswered points and lead this game 19-7.
Well, it just goes to show you, you have to play the whole entire ball game and play by play, and it's not over yet, that's for sure. We got a lot of football to play. Oregon could use a nice kickoff return here.
You saw the Harrisburg scoring drive, 40 yards, 9 plays, just shy of 4 minutes on the drive. Pedrosa on the return around the right side, gets across the 20 to about the 23-yard line. So Oregon has to find some way to try to move the football. As you look at this coming up here, total offense in the game, 242 for Harrisburg, 28 for Oregon.
Well, not much you can say about that, and except that the score is only 19-7. And actually, Oregon's still really in pretty good shape. They had a play-action pass open earlier. They just need to hit it.
Messer, the quarterback, gives it to Pedroza, the wingback, coming from right to left, and there's a little bit up the middle on that counter play.
There's that counter play, and we haven't seen it very often. A full flow one way, and Pedroza back on the slot back counter. They have a bootleg also off those types of actions, and they can get the ball to their tight end, something that's open, not too far up the field with good play action. They can get themselves some good field position, Jim.
2nd down and 8 for the Hawks. There you see Messer, the quarterback. He's going to throw on play action. Messer airs it out down the field. The ball is going to be overthrown and incomplete. Brashear, correction, not 33, but 32, Blake Emery on the coverage.
Blake Emery covered there, and you'll see Pedroza, who's the wingback, is going to go up the field. Nice cross-buck action. Messer has plenty of time to throw, lays it out there. Really, that's a beautiful ball. He gave him a chance to run for it. You couldn't throw the ball any nicer than that. I think Tony Pedroza, his coaches would tell him, keep his elbows in tight so the little fingers stay together to catch that type of pass.
So let's see what the Hawks do on 3rd down. Play action pass, Messer rolling right in, throwing, and the ball's tipped away and incomplete. Messer had a man open, the pass a little bit underthrown, and on the defense, number 16 for Harrisburg, Kyle Smith-Peters, who's also the quarterback.
Well, and we're going to have a chance to see the bootleg pass here, and Messer's going to bootleg off, and he has number 46. Is that 80? 80. 46 is underneath. So number 80, number 80 for the Hawks has been open. Yes, he's been open 2 or 3 times. If they can get him the ball, I think they do that play with the wind, they'll be a lot better off.
And Oregon punts out of bounds. They wanted to punt away from Brashear and Jones. And the official walking deep inside of Oregon territory to spot it at the 42-yard line. Just a 19-yard punt and no return.
Well, they're not only fighting a tough Harrisburg football team right now, the Hawks are, but they're also fighting the wind, and that is a factor. We keep mentioning it, but it really has an effect on the way you throw the football, the punting game, the kicking game. I wouldn't be surprised to see Oregon come out here and play action early on a 1st down play sooner or later.
So the Bulldogs up to the line of scrimmage. Smith-Peters takes, and he's going to throw on play action, rolling right. Smith-Peters pursued. Now he throws it down the field. Got a man wide open. It is caught at the 20-yard line by number 81, Alan Hurd.
Well, I meant Harrisburg throw on 1st down, and they just did.
Yes, they did.
Rather than Oregon, and that was a great play action. You've been running the football. You'll see the play action fake, and that's the tight end for Harrisburg. Number 81 is Smith-Peters rolls out, and he escaped trouble, and the ball was actually underthrown. Job of coming back to the football by number 81, Alan Hurd. 22-yard
gain. This time it's Braden Jones, the ball carrier. He carries across the 15, pushed back, but a good gain of about 5 yards for Braden Jones. Jones being recruited by the likes of Northwestern and Notre Dame. He's actually been offered, according to the coaches at Harrisburg, has already been offered a full ride scholarship to attend Northwestern.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me. They'll look at the 3 and 4A schools and the 2A schools, and they'll find football players at every level.
There you see Smith-Peters, 6 out of 8 passing for 95 yards. It's the give to Potts, the fullback, again punishing tacklers as he carries up the middle, and it's going to set up, I believe, a 1st and goal opportunity for the Bulldogs once again.
They come at you with Potts, Brashear, and Jones, and play action pass. They have a lot of weapons, and they're really executing well now. After that first play, that was kind of a wake-up call, and I think they're getting back into their normal rhythm of offense.
We approach the 2-minute mark of the 2nd quarter. 1st and goal for the Hawks at the Oregon 7-yard line. Again, that straight T formation backfield. Take, and they give it to Potts up the middle. He's already scored 2 touchdowns. Doesn't get into the end zone this time, but he does carry for 4 yards to the 3. Harrisburg, go ahead, Jim, I'm sorry.
I was just say Tyler Rumsey, I was watching through the binoculars there, number 62, who he mentioned earlier in the game, really came off the football, and Potts just fell right in behind him. So you got a 260-pound blocker and a 220-some-pound fullback. It's a tough group to bring down.
Not a bad combination to have. So now second down, goal to go from the 3. Basic formation here. They give it to Potts again, and he's not going to get into the end zone. We're going to have a third down and goal to go coming up here for the Bulldogs. This Harrisburg team, Jim, has been number 1 ranked in Class 3A all season long. They were the preseason number 1, according to the Associated Press, and they maintained that number 1 ranking all season long. That's very hard to do.
That's very difficult to do.
So now from the 1-yard line, third down and goal for the Bulldogs. Smith-Peters barking out the signals on a long count, and now a timeout's going to be called. The play clock was at 5. And Smith-Peters calls a timeout with 52 seconds left to go in the second quarter.
And of course, they have to watch their clock and make sure that they're very aware of it so that they have a chance to score, and that would make a big difference in this ball game going in right at the halftime. It's quite a bit of talking, I think, that the Oregon coaches, staff's going to have to do to their young men to get them to just come out, play hard in the second half.
19-7 right now. Most team points in a season. Carthage this year just set the record, 693. Harrisburg not far behind, 648 points scored this season.
And there's Wheaton Warrenville South, the 98 team down here, I remember, and that was one of the best football teams I ever saw. So these guys are really putting some good offense together, aren't they?
Byron, you see the 1999 Byron team that won this 3A state championship game last year, scored 673 to set a record. Oregon and Byron, of course, in the same conference, the Big Northern Red Division. So that conference trying to win back-to-back, and Oregon needs to mount a rally to make that happen. Right now for Harrisburg, after the timeout, third down, goal to go at the 1. Smith-Peters to Potts, touchdown, third time of the game that Nathan Potts has found pay dirt for the Bulldogs. The lead is now 25-7 for Harrisburg.
Well, just a real nice job up front, too. He walked into the end zone, as we'll see. Quarterback Smith-Peters reverses out, gives it to Potts. A nice wall there. Number 79 came off the ball. Just real nice blocking up front. Joe Speaks, 255-pound lineman, 6'5". Nice effort. Potts is a load coming in there.
Roth Clayton will try the conversion again, and a bobbled snap, and they're looking to throw, try to get a 2-point conversion, and it's going to work. The pass caught in the end zone by 81 Allen Hurd, and the 2-point conversion is successful. The quarterback, Smith-Peters, is also the holder on those conversion attempts. And it works for a 2-point conversion, 27-7 in favor of the Bulldogs.
Nice heads-up play by Allen Hurd, and they have that ball call, whether it's predetermined or, you know, reacting to a bad snap. And look at the scoring drive here, 6 plays, 42 yards, and 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Didn't take them that long to score. They're working with a shorter field, Jim, because of the Oregon's problem of having to kick into this wind all the time.
27-7, Harrisburg on top, and the Bulldogs are going to put it back in play once again. Individual rushing numbers so far. Brad Brashear, 94 yards for the Bulldogs. Nathan Potts has 71. Braden Jones with 21, and Potts, of course, with 3 touchdowns in the game, giving him 28 rushing touchdowns on the season.
Well, the Hawks need a breakout here. They need a breakout run, a counter, a play action pass, something big to happen to get their crowd back in the game, get the guys excited here. There's only 49 seconds, though, so they want to be careful they don't do anything careless.
And Oregon does get the football first in the second half. Here's the approach and the click. It's a short one. It's bobbled, and guess what? Harrisburg has it again. I don't know if that was an intentional onside kick. The ball came funny off the tee by Clayton Roth, and Harrisburg has the ball right back.
And I really think they just tried to kind of squib kick it, to be real honest with you, Jim. And he tried, because he hit it so hard, and they weren't in an onside kick formation, and the ball bounced off number 51 from Oregon. Clayton Plumhofer, and tough break here. Be careful, watch out for Jones deep.
Walker Franks on the recovery for Harrisburg. Smith-Peters back to pass, looking and throwing deep down the middle for Braden Jones. He can't hang on to it.
And you just knew with the wind behind him and his speed, they're going to have to double there. And that time they had Brashear on one side and Jones on the other. So they've got to get him jammed at the line and maybe play in behind to give him a little help.
So now a 2nd down and 10 call coming up. The 3 touchdowns that that Nathan Potts has already scored today on the ground has tied the 3A state championship record already. Still has a second half to try to break that record. Smith-Peters again looking to throw. Pump fakes and airs it out down the sideline. It's incomplete. Intended for the other speedster, Brad Brashear.
And these guys, it's like they have a baton in their hand running a track meet right now. They're just flying up the field and uncontested on the line. And Smith-Peters that time looked towards Braden Jones and then threw back to Brad Brashear. And he actually had him open, but threw the ball out of bounds.
So a 3rd down and 10 call is coming up. And Harrisburg is up to the line of scrimmage.
They might go the same way again or try to hit some kind of slant in now underneath it.
And they're going to give it to Potts up the middle. The fullback is what they decide to do, and they might just kill the clock here in the first half. It's down to 25 seconds, and by the time the ball is marked ready for play, Harrisburg would not have to run another play unless they wanted to. It's 4th down. And I don't think that Oregon is going to call a timeout. So that should do it for the first half of the ball game. Half dominated by Harrisburg. And the Bulldogs lead at 27-7. There you saw the Bulldog mascot.
That Bulldog didn't look real excited down there on the sideline.
Well, they should look
kind
excited.
of look mean, don't they?
Yeah, they do. So the first half is in the books. It's all Harrisburg right now. 27-7 is your score. A touchdown pass from Smith-Peters to Jones, and 3 short rushing touchdowns by Nathan Potts has allowed Harrisburg to take this 20-point lead. And Jim, this is after Oregon got a big break early. They recovered a fumble on the first play of the game. Andy Ballard scooped up the loose football and took it down to about the 2-yard line. And one play later, Oregon was on the scoreboard leading 7-0, and Harrisburg has come back in a flurry. 27 unanswered points for the Bulldogs to lead by 20 here at halftime as Harrisburg tries to win its first ever state championship in football.
Well, Jim, I'll tell you, I think as I watched that first half also, if Oregon could have got some first downs getting across midfield into the wind, it would have really helped their cause. They had some guys open on play action passes, so maybe we'll see that in the second half.
Right now, let's go down to the field where Lee Hall is with Oregon head football coach John Bothy.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Coach, you got that early break. Other than that, though, things really haven't gone your way. They've done a really great job stopping the run.
Oh, yeah, they've been dominant. You know, we can't focus on them right now. I mean, they're physically probably a little better than us right now, obviously, and they're playing. The thing that bugs me, I think right now they're playing just a little bit harder than we do, and that has nothing to do with talent. And the important thing is that we don't back off. Instead, we've got to play with a little more intensity right now. You know, I mean, we just can't submit to them. So that'll be the big emphasis at half. You know, I'm not as worried about the score right now. It's just a matter we got to get after them a little more.
All right, Coach, go get them second half. Appreciate it. 27-7 our halftime score. It's all Harrisburg so far in this one. They lead Oregon at the break, and we will be back with more from Memorial Stadium after this local break. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium on the campus of the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana. 27-7 our halftime score. It's all Harrisburg so far in this one, and we are joined by Harrisburg principal Jim Collins. You have to love the way things have gone here in the first half for your team.
Yes, we do. We like the score that we have right now. We were a little bit concerned after the first play of the game.
Right.
We lost that first fumble. But since that time, things have gone well for us, and we're very pleased at this point in time.
Tell me about having a guy like Al Way on your sideline. 20 years at Harrisburg, and could very well bring home his first state championship tonight.
Yeah, you know, if there's one person in the city of Harrisburg that I'm really, really pleased for as far as this season is concerned, it's Al Way. He puts in so much time and is such a perfectionist and has developed an outstanding program over the years. You know, probably I think the premier program in Southern Illinois, because we've been good, real good sometimes, but most of the time we've been good over a long period of time, and that's really due to Al Way's knowledge of the game and his ability to motivate the players in his preparation for the game. So I'm really happy for Al.
I've been following you guys over the internet and reading a lot of the newspaper articles. Some outstanding things your folks have done this week. You guys passed the hat at the Mount Carmel game last week. Teams and people from both sides donated over $1,000 to get shoes for the AstroTurf. The fire department held a dinner for the team earlier this week. Can you talk about how Harrisburg gets behind their Bulldogs?
Yeah, again, it's amazing what the community does. And, you know, you mentioned Mount Carmel. We open up every year with Mount Carmel. But it's amazing how Southern Illinois gets behind the team that comes up here to represent that part of the state. And as far as Harrisburg is concerned, it's just a tremendous community. The support there is outstanding. You better come early if you're going to come to a Harrisburg game, because people will have their blankets laid out a long time in advance. And again, I think it's due to the tradition of the program.
Tell us a little bit more about Harrisburg High School and what you guys do down there, what you're known for besides football.
Well, Harrisburg High School, we have an enrollment of right around 600 students. Very good school. About 10, 11 years ago, we finished second in the state in the Quiz Bowl. This is my 9th year as principal there at Harrisburg. I was athletic director 8 years before that. Have good baseball teams. Won a state championship in baseball. Back in '89, we won a couple of track championships. This is our third trip to the state final in football. So we have an outstanding athletic program, but we have an outstanding academic program too. Great kids. It's a great community. A tribute to the parents and the kids, really.
All right, thank you very much. Good luck to Harrisburg the rest of the way.
Thank you.
They lead it up there down around where my mom's from, down in that part of the neck of the woods. So we're kind of happy for them. But hopefully Oregon comes back here and makes it a game in the second half. We'll be back with more after this local break. Welcome back to the University of Illinois Memorial Stadium. 27-7, our halftime score. Harrisburg leading Oregon at the break. And we are joined now with the head of the Illinois High School Association, Dave Fry. Dave, a great day here weather-wise. Congratulations on that. I don't know how you did it, but thanks, because I've been outside all day.
Well, it really had nothing to do with it. You know, God takes care of that for us, and he really is taking care of us today. It's been gorgeous.
Let's talk about, we're on TV all statewide today. We're not with the Fox network anymore. Tell us about putting together a network all on your own. It's been quite an undertaking.
Well, it's been a real adventure. You know, they say you can't teach old dogs new tricks, but Flynn and Fry are about as old a dogs as they have, and we've learned a lot. We just really believed that we could do this with the help of a lot of really good people. We felt that there had to be a way where we could broaden the extent of our distribution and be able to avoid some of the preemption difficulties we had in the past. We've been really fortunate to get some over-the-air stations in Chicago and in the South and out of Peoria. And as time goes by and digital capabilities come available to us, that technology is in place. Well, we think we'll be able to be back on over the air in a lot of other spots in years to come. So we're happy to have you with us.
Oh, I'm pleased to be here, really. It's fantastic. And you're worldwide on the internet. I think that's still amazing.
It's going to be really interesting. I understand that we had this afternoon somewhere around 500 different visitors on that internet live show, and I wish we could track where they come from. But as time goes by, that's going to increase as well.
We said hello to the monks in Tibet for you already.
I heard you do that this afternoon.
Let's talk about next year. This is the last year for 6-class football, going to 8 classes next year. Has that been met with some reserve on some people's part?
Well, both reserve and enthusiasm. The enthusiasm comes from the fact that we're going to have 64 more teams into the playoffs to begin with. And certainly here, with 5 years now ahead of us, in this location, we can accommodate 8 classes very readily. On the other side, there's a little concern that it waters down the championships. But when you stop and think about it, at this level of play, we're dealing with our kids in our towns, and when they rise to a peak of success, I think people are going to enjoy it.
Sure, sure. What other kind of challenges face you here as we are in the new millennium now? what does IHSA have to work on?
Well, there's no question sportsmanship continues to be one of our primary concerns. And frankly, it's not the kids on the field or on the court, nor even the coaches on the sidelines, although there are occasional challenges there. But it's the fans in the stand. And we need to work hard to get an attitude of competing with honor and respect all across the board on the part of the entire contingent who's present at the ball game. And if we can work on that, make continued progress on that, IHSA is going to be getting its job done.
Dave Fry, thank you very much, sir.
Good to visit with you, man.
Attitude is here. That's what it's all about. Attitude right there. He's gotten shorter since earlier in the day. Maybe because of the cold. 27-7 our halftime score. It's Harrisburg leading Oregon at the break. We will be back with more after this local break. Oh,
Back at Memorial Stadium in Champaign-Urbana, 27-7 is the lead for Harrisburg over Oregon in this Class 3A state championship football game. Earlier today, Carthage won in Class 1A, Stillman Valley won in 2A, and Harrisburg well on its way, Jim covered, to winning in Class 3A. Just a dominating performance in the first half for the Bulldogs.
No doubt, Jim. We weren't too sure when it first started with that fumble and Ballard picking it up for Oregon, running in for a touchdown, but it's been all Harrisburg ever since, even though they've had a couple penalties to slow them down. I think they have 16 first downs.
Yeah, 16-1 is the first down advantage right now for the Bulldogs. A lot of total offense, and we saw a lot of different things happen, but here's one thing. It's the touchdown. Akins for Oregon after Oregon recovered a fumble, returned it to the 2. Akins a short run. Harrisburg was down for just the second time all season, 7-0. But then the Bulldogs come right back, Jim.
Right, and Potts and Jones and Brashear, a 1-2-3 punch. Potts gets 3 touchdowns in the first half, and a lot of those plays were set up as we see the big fullback going into the end zone. A lot of those plays were set up by other players, but he certainly deserves some credit for hard running inside.
And we saw that Harrisburg wasn't behind for very long. Is that?
Well, it's cold up here.
You're right. It's very cold. 7-7 at that point after the first Potts touchdown, and now we're going to see Smith, Peters, and Jones hooking up through the air. The home run ball. Braden Jones with his great speed running down this football. A 40-yard touchdown pass. What a great throw by Smith Peters.
It was a great throw, and you saw Brad Brashear on the outside, too, so they had 2 speedsters there, one to the outside, one to the inside, and Smith Peters saw Braden Jones, the inside receiver, on the skinny post, and that's the kind of speed you have, and you have to utilize the wind when you have it tonight.
Yeah, lots of weapons for the Bulldogs. They scored 3 touchdowns on the ground with Potts and that 1 long touchdown through the air. Smith Peters to Jones. 16-1 for Harrisburg in first downs. You look at total yards, 287 to 30. Time of possession, 17-20 to 640. That's just dominating right there.
Well, and we heard Coach John Bothie right before, right as the half ended, and I really like what he had to say. His team has 1 first down, and what he's concerned about is that they're in the state finals, and he wants to see them come out and play with intensity. He said, we may be outmanned tonight, but he's going to tell us young men he wants them to play with that intensity, enthusiasm that they had the first 5 minutes of the game, and just play that way, and that's the sign of a good instruction and teaching by a coach and a teacher.
So as you look at Oregon, and one thing they want to do is, like you said, not quit. Go out, have fun in the second half. It is a big deal to be here in this game. Just play, have fun, and then whatever happens, happens, right?
Exactly. Play one play at a time. Play it hard. Each play is a little game in itself, and we'll see if they can make a comeback. They're going to get the ball early, Oregon. If they can put a drive together and get one on the board, we could have a new football game.
Right now, it's 27-7 in favor of Harrisburg over Oregon. We're going to take a timeout. This is the IHSA Television Network.
Welcome back. 27-7, we're with Harrisburg coach Al Way. Coach, after that first muff handoff and fumble, your offense has clicked right along.
Yeah, I've been pretty pleased. We got a center snap late, I believe, on that and didn't get the handoff. And, of course, that set up their first touchdown and didn't make things look very well. And then, of course, the penalties hurt us real bad. We had another drive that was stopped by a couple of penalties. And there in the last possession after the onside kick, we had a chance, and we just underthrew a post just a little bit. The big thing is our defense is controlling the line of scrimmage. If that continues, you know, things look pretty good for us. If not, then we got a fight on our hands.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Appreciate it. He covered it all right there. Offense, defense, and keeping a good positive attitude and staying with it here in the second half. The key for Harrisburg as they lead at 27-7. Let's go back upstairs to Jim and Jim.
All right, Lee, Jim Spencer, Jim Covert back up here in the booth, the frigid booth at Memorial Stadium in Champaign. The wind blowing out of the northeast tonight. Oh, conveniently right into our booth.
Well, that's right, and the wind has been a factor, Jim, and we just heard Coach Al Way, and as we heard at halftime from the principal, he's a perfectionist, and most good coaches are, and he really analyzed it. If his defensive line can keep shutting down the running game of Oregon, I mean, Oregon's not used to going airborne, so we'll see what happens as the second half develops. The third quarter could really set the tempo.
Now, Alway, you can tell he's seasoned at this interview thing. He's been at the helm of the Harrisburg football program for 20 years. Lee Hall asks one question, and a typical coach answers it all with one answer.
That's very efficient, and I'm sure he doesn't get many delay of games, Jim.
Exactly.
Same deal.
Let's look back to our keys to the game, Jim Covert. For Oregon, it's not going well.
They need big yardage on the counter plays, and actually they ran one counter to Tony Pedroza, and it was only a 2 or 3 yard gain. They also ran a couple play action bootleg counters. They had a receiver or two open, but they didn't hit him. They must cover Jones. Well, they've had some success covering him, but not continuously. We saw the long bomb, so they got hurt with that. The keys for Harrisburg is to do some play action passing, which they have accomplished, and force Oregon airborne. Well, Oregon hasn't had to go airborne yet, but they're going to force them airborne. In other words, what that meant is get guys up there to stop the Oregon run game, and Harrisburg's done a great job of that. And for Oregon to win here, I think they're going to have to be able to hit some passes.
Well, Oregon's going to get the football first, and they've got to make a statement with their first drive, because if they can mount something offensively, get something on the board, pull to within a couple of touchdowns, things could be interesting as we move along in the second half. If not, there's the potential for Harrisburg to really run away and hide.
And right, Jim, and we're in the same situation. Of course, Oregon wants the football, but now they're going to have to move that football into that wind, and this is what they had trouble doing in the first half. So let's see if the coaches have put together some inspiration, and so the guys will get a little perspiration going on down on the field.
I'm sure John Bothy, the head coach for Oregon, had some choice words for his team at halftime, trying to get them fired up. John Bothy, no stranger to state championship football. Bothy was a member of the Amboy Clippers, Class 2A state championship winning team back in 1984. The Clippers of Coach Don Wisgowski knocked off Paxton 16-7 in the title game back in '84. Roth Clayton with the boot, with the wind. It's deep. It's going to be fielded by Whalen as he steps down the goal line. Whalen looking for running room off the right side, and there's none.
And that's just not what Oregon was hoping for. A little better field position certainly would have been nice for the Hawks. Have to get north and south on those kickoff returns if you can.
Oregon's rushing game has been grounded to a halt here tonight. Whalen averaging 99 yards a game coming in tonight, 10. Akins, 83 yards a game coming in tonight, 12. Pedroza, almost 82 yards a game tonight, 8. Those are 3 1,000-yard rushers coming in that have been held to not very many yards here in the first 24 minutes of action. And now you've got a situation where Oregon has to start at its own 7-yard line, trailing 27-7. Pedroza comes in motion, and he is going to get the carry. Off left tackle, that's a little counter-action play. Pedroza with good yardage on the first play of the second half.
And that's the way to get it started. A nice 5-yard gain for the Hawks, giving it to the wing back off that inside drive series.
So 2nd down and 5 in the first half of the ball game. The total offense went to the Bulldogs in a big way. So Oregon just wants to mount something consistently to get it going. They go with a wishbone look this time, and not much on the play. So a 3rd down and 5 call coming up, and into the wind, deep inside its own territory. We've got a passing situation here for the Hawks.
We'll have a chance to look at the end zone view, and you've got a full flow situation this time. Fake to the first back, give to the second back through Whalen, and he is just smothered under by number 75 on defense. Big Corey Potts, 240-pound defensive lineman.
3rd down and 6. Oregon 0 for 4 on 3rd down conversions in the game tonight. They're going to give it to Pedroza, and he's going to get the first down as he carries out across the 20 to the 22, and there are those counter plays that you talked about on the pregame show, Jim Covert.
And that's actually the one we hadn't seen very often. Now we've seen it twice already. You'll see big tackle coming through here. Rubin, look at him, 275-pounder, pulling and trapping as Pedroza gets up inside that big guy's block and gets some positive yardage.
Again, out of the wishbone. They fake first man, give second man, and a little bit of running room there, maybe a yard or so.
We just had
Whalen was the ball carrier.
There's number 75, Rubin had mentioned him just pulling the play before. He's a big young man. I think he's probably got a XXL shirt on. It looks a little small, you know.
Rubin,
big young man, and to pull a guy like that, he can eclipse you.
6'7", 275, right? There is an eclipse when he pulls and moves around the end. 2nd down and 8 after the 2-yard run. Aikens, the fullback, quick hitter up the middle. Gets out to about the 31-yard line. So Oregon getting some consistent offense here to start the 3rd quarter.
And I'm sure Coach John Bolte's inspirational talk. He told his young man just what he said to us at the half. Get out there and come off the ball, and, you know, I don't worry about the score. Let's just move the football and play with pride, and they're doing that.
Aikens got 7 there. It's 3rd down and short. Oregon trying to convert on 3rd down for the 2nd time in this drive. They'll go with a double slot formation this time. Pedroza moves in motion, but it's Aikens, the fullback, up the middle. He didn't need to get much, and I think he did find enough running room to get another Oregon first down, and Oregon with just 1 first down the entire first half. They have 2 first downs on this drive.
That's right, and you'll see Andy Ballard here pull up on this play. His lineman with a little trap block. See him, and he follows Ballard there, number 66. Nice job by Aikens. He had a chance to see why he's a good mobile 215-pound lineman.
So Oregon deploys receivers left and right, and it's a run up the middle again.
Little Tony Pedroza, the wingback, actually goes right inside and throws a block on that. He's a man. He's also a wrestler, I understand, a state-class wrestler.
Right. The last couple of years, in 1998, Pedroza placed 3rd in the state in wrestling in Class A at 130 pounds. Then last season at 135, Pedroza placed 2nd, losing to Seth Heim of Rock Falls in the final. 2nd down and 7. Again, Oregon stays on the ground. It is Pedroza, the ball carrier.
Excellent job defensively there by Tyler Rumsey, number 62. We'll have a chance to see Rumsey down here on the 2nd back through. They fake the Whalen coming through, and then right there's Rumsey coming from left to right, making a great tackle. That's why he's an all-stater.
Exactly.
He's 260 pounds of mobility. And there's his coach there with shorts on. Probably a 0 wind chill. No wonder they're tough.
That is a brave soul down on the sidelines here at Memorial Stadium. And it's the quarterback for the Oregon Hawks, Chad Messer, trying to run a little bit of option. He cut it out and did not get first down yardage. So 4th down call coming up for Oregon here, and let's see what John Bothe will do. I think you have to go for it. What do you have to lose?
Well, you know, I would punt the ball. It's just too early to give Harrisburg the ball in this field position again. And John Bothe's got to be encouraged by what he just saw. They moved the ball from their 6-yard line to the 40-yard line with a nice little drive, and they're going to be punting the ball. And if they can get a good punt off, they get much better field position.
Matt Robinson to boot it for the Hawks. Good snap. Robinson gets the toe into it. It's going to be over the head of the 2 return men for Harrisburg, Jones and Brashear, and downed by the Hawks. Good punt into the wind.
And look, what they've done, Jim, is they've gone from their own 6-yard line and put Harrisburg back to their own 21. So that's a real nice change of position as far as yardage in a football game. Now the key will be, what is Harrisburg going to do, come out here, and how are they going to handle and run the ball and play action and do what they can do with their high-powered offense?
For Matt Robinson against the wind, 39-yard punt, no return. It's exactly what the doctor ordered for Oregon. Now here comes Harrisburg up to the line of scrimmage. In the first half, Harrisburg, 287 yards of total offense. Smith Peters, the quarterback, takes, gives to Brashear off the left side. Brad Brashear
across the 25 to the 27. A pickup of about 5 or 6 on the play for the senior halfback.
And Coach Al Way can be very patient right now, Jim. You know, doesn't have to panic, run the ball, get his 5 yards, 6 yards of crack, and eat up a lot of clock. He does have the win now, so we may see that bomb also.
And Jones and Brashear are both split to the bottom of your screen. Lightning in a bottle right there. Smith-Peters, the quarterback, under center, but it's Potts, the fullback, up the middle. He's got first down yardage and more as he bulls his way out to the 43.
And Coach Alway wanted the Oregon defense to think just what we did up here. You put your burners out there and you spread the field. You get some of those safeties out of position, and you'll see coming in from the fullback spot, you'll see Potts running in there with good blocking inside. And look at him get north and south. He breaks tackles every time he gets in.
Yeah, actually, he dropped the football on that play. It came out and came right back to him. So now another first down for Harrisburg, their 17th of the game. They go back to their bread and butter formation, the straight tee. Off the right side, it's Jones. Turns the corner, tries to elude a tackler from Oregon, and he can't. Pedroza was hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, and that would be a mismatch in wrestling. We're looking at about 155 against 215. He did a nice job. He used some of those wrestling skills. You see him drop down.
I think Pedroza would scrap at him, though.
Right, or bite his leg or something. Grab anything.
So 6-yard gain there for Braden Jones.
Coach Alway looking at the action,
hoping for his first state championship. They toss it left to Braden Jones. Touch back to the 45, and he's tripped up as he gets inside the Oregon 40 at about the 39-yard line.
He was just a step away as we see Travis Gerald's number 78 pulling out in front of him on a tackle. Quick pitch. You'll see Gerald's up at the top of the screen. Nice quick pitch toss. Sticking with the money. If he just stay, of course he's so fast, you know, it's hard to stick with your blockers sometimes. You just want to stay on their hip, the coaches will teach them, and then use your speed when it's appropriate.
So fast and so big. 6'3", 216-pounder is Braden Jones. Brashear with the carry up the middle. Short yardage on the play on first down for the Bulldogs.
Nice job inside by number 56 on defense. Ross Whalen, nice play by Ross.
There you see John Bothy, the head coach of the Hawks, still working at it. The team down by 20 points, but still the intensity level is there for Coach Bothy.
Certainly is, and Harrisburg slowly regaining that field position here offensively.
Second down and 9. Ball at the Oregon 38. Smith-Peters takes. Running option, Smith-Peters is going to keep it himself. Smith-Peters looking for running room, breaks a couple of tackles, fights forward for a couple on that play.
We haven't seen the option much, and really great pursuit there by the Hawks on defense. Everybody running to the ball. Smith-Peters did break a couple tackles there, but the pursuit of Oregon Hawks really made the good play defense.
It's going to be a third down and 7, and Harrisburg has been very efficient on third down. Tonight, 6 out of 8 in converting third downs are the Bulldogs. Approaching the 4-minute mark of the third quarter, 27-7. Harrisburg with the lead. Single back offense. They toss it. They're going to run a reverse. Braden Jones off the right side, 35, and he's brought down by Pedroza. Pedroza, a wrestling move. He picked Jones up in the air, you know, and Pedroza 155 pounds and Jones 216, and it was a body slam.
Single leg takedown. You'll see the counter play. Here comes Braden Jones with the counter, and you'll see just a great job by Tony Pedroza coming up and getting into those legs and making a great tackle on a real fine running back.
That brings up a 4th and 3, and Oregon is going to, not Oregon, but Harrisburg is going to go for it. First time Harrisburg has tried for a 4th down here tonight, and it looks like Oregon jumped, and they violated the neutral zone, and that could be a gimme first down here for the Bulldogs.
And that's a big mistake, and you know, teams work on that, and they work on the longer cadence for that type of situation.
Encroachment on the defense. First down.
So it is offsides. Encroachment is the correct political terminology. For the most up-to-date Illinois high school sports information, click on the IHSA's website for score, standings, and much, much more. The IHSA website is your #1 source. There you see the web address, ihsa.org. Potts is the single setback here, 1st and 10. It's going to be Potts up the middle. He's already scored 3 touchdowns, and he spins his way down around the 22-yard line.
Well, they put Brashear and Jones out wide again and hit again inside with Potts with his excellent line and the pulling and trapping.
Well, you see playing on turf, a lot of the players for Harrisburg have got those elbow pads on to protect their elbows. And this turf, with it being cold, is very, very hard, and they're trying to protect their elbows as much as possible. 2nd down and 4 after the 6-yard gain, and the pass by Smith-Peters broken up at the line of scrimmage. Big number 84 for Oregon, Matt Robinson knocked the ball down. There you see him right there.
Nice job by Robinson there. Smith-Peters was just trying to get a hitch pattern there, get the ball out wide, one-on-one situation, and as we see at every level, the defensive lineman batting down the ball is a big play for the Hawks.
So Harrisburg up to the line. They've got it at the Oregon 21, straight T formation backfield.
Play action.
And they're going to give the ball coming to the near side to Jeff McDonald, and he's not going to get the 1st down. McDonald with about 1.
Watch out for number 11, Braden Jones at tight end now, and before you know it, they'll be working into some play action situations, trying to get him up the field.
So the ball now at the 20, 4th down. 4th down and 3. Harrisburg up. They'll go with 3 receivers to the left. Brashear and Jones are 2 of those 3. Smith-Peters will screen it out. The pass is caught in the left flat by Brashear, and he's going to go into the end zone for a touchdown. Brad Brashear catching the screen pass in the left. He takes it 20 yards for a touchdown.
What a great play out wide. Hits that quick pass, and then you had Braden Jones out there with him, as you'll see, as Smith-Peters just takes it 1 step, throws the ball. It's like a long handoff. And what is not, he breaks to the outside, ball in the outside arm. He got some help from Braden Jones to tie up the corner, and then it's all effort into the end zone.
Broke up the would-be tackle of Chad Messer at about the 10, and after that, it was end zone for Brashear. And the extra point attempt by Roth Clayton is good. 1:46 left to go, 3rd quarter. It's now Bulldogs 34, Hawks 7. This is the IHSA Television Network. (34-7), Harrisburg leading Oregon in this Class 3A state championship football game. Jim Spencer along with Jim Covert here at Memorial Stadium in Champaign. That last drive for the Bulldogs, 79 yards in 12 plays, eating up 5 minutes and 34 seconds of this 3rd quarter clock. So Roth Clayton again to kick off for Harrisburg, as Pedroza and Akins will go back deep here momentarily for the Bulldogs. A correction for the Hawks. I get Hawks, Bulldogs, getting that confused sometimes.
Good mascots. They're both good mascots.
Roth Clayton with the kick. It is going to sail into the end zone again. And before Oregon takes over on offense, let's go down to the field. Lee Hall has got a couple of lovely ladies with him. Lee, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what can I say? You know, it's tough work, good work if you can get it, I guess. I'm trying to console these ladies. They're from Oregon, and things aren't quite going their way, but they've had a good day. They've had a great day. Deb Wubin and Mary Miners, they are with me, and you had a great day out of Tent City, didn't you?
Tent City, Psycho Moms, way to go!
These ladies represent a group called the Psycho Moms. There's about a dozen of them. They decided to stay in the stands and watch the game. Mary, tell me about Tent City and your decorating. Got you an award today.
Yes, it did. These boys have done such a wonderful job this year. What else could we do but decorate for them, right?
What exactly does it take to be a Psycho Mom?
Working every single day and every single night, painting on the basement floor in Mary's house and just going nuts with the decorations.
Well, hey, you know what? That's what it's all about, loving your kids, and hey, just getting here is great. I know it sounds like I'm
experiences. What a wonderful experience this has been for our kids, for our community, for all our moms and dads. We've had some wonderful support with all of Oregon.
All right, all right. Congratulations on your award, and thanks for being here. All right, back up to you guys. See you later. Eat your hearts out.
All right, Oregon in the playoffs for the first time in 17 years. Last year, lost to Addison Driscoll in the first round, and now for the first time ever, Oregon passed the second round of the playoffs, and here they are playing for a state title.
Moms had a great attitude, didn't they?
Yes, they did. It's just fun to be here, isn't it? 3rd down and 4, and it's a first down run for the big fullback, Akins.
And they're really actually playing a lot better, I think, Jim, as far as moving that football with their running game here in the second half. The last time they had the ball, the Hawks moved it from their 6 all the way down and had to punt, but moved it to midfield and had field position changed down to the 21. Now they need a score.
30 seconds to go, 3rd quarter. First down for Oregon. Again, it's going to be Akins up the middle with the carry for the Hawks. We got 2 or 3 up the gut there for Oregon.
Chad Messer really does a nice job of carrying out his fakes. This is really a deceptive type of offense, giving the ball to 1 of 3 backs, and you have to be very unselfish as a quarterback. He hasn't had a chance to throw as much this season as some quarterbacks, but he takes pride in his execution.
And Oregon barely got that play off as Akins carries up the middle as we've come to the end of the 3rd quarter here at Memorial Stadium in Champaign. As it was at halftime, it's still all Harrisburg. Bulldogs over the Hawks, 34-7. We'll be back after this local break. As we start the 4th quarter, we have another trivia question for you. Name the southernmost Illinois team to win a football state title. If you know the answer, log on to TV at IHSA.org on the internet. Email us your answer, and you could win an IHSA hat. It was 3rd and 2 for Oregon as we started the 4th, and they feed the fullback Akins again, and I think he got first down yardage. He did.
I think he did, Jim. And they're moving the ball, and wouldn't it be nice to see them move the ball down and get a score? They're a really strong football team, had a great year. Coach Al Way doesn't like it, but you know, that makes sense, you know.
Exactly. Now remember, folks, the answer can't be Harrisburg to that trivia question. They haven't won it yet.
Yeah, they've been second twice, so, and they're headed towards a championship, it looks like.
And Oregon inside of Harrisburg territory. And running room up the middle, across the 40, and near first down yardage for the Hawks is number 21 for Oregon, Jim Roshai.
Jim Roshai seeing some action here, as we'll have a chance to see him hit in there, and actually makes a nice cutback as we have a chance to see, and watch him make the break back right up the seam, cutting back behind his blockers, and breaks tackles. Nice job.
Roshai, a 5'5", 135-pound senior, getting a chance to play here on the turf at Memorial Stadium. Again, Oregon tries to run up the middle, and this time the Harrisburg defense is all over it. Whalen was the carrier, and it was 2nd down and short, and I don't know if Whalen got the first. No, he didn't. He was stopped short. So now third and short coming up for Oregon.
Tyler Rumsey again, once again, in on that tackle, along with a host of other tacklers. They've really run the ball well enough to set up a play-action pass, but here with a 3rd and short, I would be surprised if they'd go for it unless they consider this 4 for 10 territory.
Pedrosa goes in motion. Messer looking to throw into the flat. The ball almost intercepted by Braden Jones, and that would have been fun to watch. Braden turn on the burners if he would have picked off that pass.
Well, they actually did throw the play-action pass because they figure they're in 4 for 10, as you'll see here. Nice ride fake off the inside drive. Messer drops off. Looks like he has a tight end coming up here open, but elects to go to the flat to Whalen, and Braden Jones almost had 6 points. Now with a 4th down and 2 feet, though, they figured that they have an opportunity to get the first down.
Wishbone backfield here for the Hawks. 4th and 1. Messer gives it to the second man through the hole. Pedrosa is going to get the first down.
He was a step away from breaking it, Jim.
Yes, he was. So John Bothy happy to see his team convert on 4th down.
That was good play calling, actually, with a 3rd and 2 feet to go. He went with the play action. It looked like they had the tight end on that. They may come back to it instead of going to the flat, and then they picked it up on 4th down, keep the drive alive.
The receivers to the left and right. Also a couple of tight slots as well for Oregon on that play. And they give it to the fullback, Akins again.
Akins rushed for 1,200 yards coming into this game. Well, like we mentioned in the pregame, all 3 running backs over 1,000 yards.
So that doesn't happen very often.
No.
It just goes to show how well this offensive line can block and the commitment to this offense, the wing T offense that Oregon has. Again, Akins, the fullback, up the middle. He's breaking tackles, and he's going to get a 1st down inside the 25, around the 24. By far, this is Oregon's best drive of the game.
It is, and we'll have Andy Ballard with a short trap, number 66, as Akins hits inside. Here comes Ballard up on the block, and he actually didn't have a chance to block so much on that. He got around the horn, but look at Akins. He saw daylight and said, I'm not going to wait for anybody.
9:25 to go in the game, and looking to get off the left side is Whalen. Breaks tackles in the backfield, fights forward across the 20 to about the, actually it was Pedroza. It was 24, not 34, and Pedroza, again, breaking tackles in the backfield, turned a negative into a positive for the Hawks.
He really did, and we'll see Tony Pedroza from his wing spot here come off as he works to the inside, and then he bounces it out. He breaks a tackle, uses a spin move, and that's a lot of effort on his part. Now we got a bootleg coming.
Messer, the quarterback, on the keeper around the 15 before he's brought down. So Messer, also an all-state basketball player. Honorable mention last year as a junior, according to the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association.
And I'm sure he'll take his great season right with him into the next season, which and his teammates are looking forward to getting
exactly.
him.
He'll probably start about Monday playing basketball. Akins, the fullback, again breaking tackles as he gets across the line of scrimmage and down to the 9-yard line inside of Harrisburg territory. 8:19 to go in the game.
They're running right over Dave Wubin's side. We heard his mom being interviewed just a little earlier by Lee Hall. Nice job by 21 leading in there also. Doing a good job blocking Jim Rashi.
Akins got 6 on that play. He now has 70 yards rushing for the game. 1st and goal for Oregon. And it's going to be Akins, the fullback, to the 6 before he's brought down.
They've really worked hard for this score, and they've moved the ball very well here in the second half, Jim. And I think it'd be nice for the Hawks to get some points on the board. Coach John Bothy, I'm sure, gave him a talk about that, and it would be nice to see it pay off for him.
There you see Akins averaging just shy of 5 yards per carry today. He's lined up at fullback once again. Wing T set this time. Whalen with the carry, and it's a touchdown.
He's in. Nice job by Whalen.
So Oregon with its 2nd touchdown of the game. Dan Whalen goes in for the score. There you see him running off the field.
He's scored a lot of points this year as the quarterback reverses out. He follows his blockers. There's Wubin, 75, blocking. Number 49, Akins, lead blocking as he twists and turns his way into the end zone.
Whalen, 6 yards into the end zone, his 21st touchdown of the year. And Andy Ballard, he boots the ball off the crossbar, and the extra point attempt is no good. So with 7:35 left to go in the football game, Harrisburg 34, Oregon 13. This is the IHSA Television Network.
32 down lower.
So 34-13, Harrisburg on top of Oregon. The Hawks just going 80 yards in 17 plays for a touchdown. 16 of those 17 plays on the ground.
That's what the doctor ordered for the Hawks. Now they got the wind.
The ball put back in play. It's going to be Braden Jones on the return to the 30. Braden Jones, 35-40. Look out, Jones to the 50 into Oregon territory. Braden Jones, he's going to go. It's a kickoff return for a touchdown for Braden Jones of 86 yards.
What a special athlete. What a great run, and that's why everybody's talked about him as being such a fine all-around football player. Here it took Oregon, 17 plays to finally get a score, and in one play, Braden Jones knots it back up on the equality situation here. Great run. They kick short. He sees the whole field. Great vision, splitting those two tacklers. And now it's like, give me the baton and go. High knee action, two-strider. 2 strides every 5 yards.
So the lefty, Roth Clayton for the conversion. The kick sails to the uprights, and it's good. 40-13, 41-13 in favor of Harrisburg after the conversion. There you see Braden Jones after his long kickoff return for a touchdown. His father is a doctor. His older sister is a doctor. His older brother is going to Vanderbilt, studying to be a doctor. And guess what Mr. Braden Jones is going to go to school for as well? To be a doctor. He's going to study medicine wherever he goes to school. Again, he's being courted by a number of schools. Has already been offered a full ride scholarship to Northwestern. He's going to visit the Evanston campus next month. And then in the month of January, Braden Jones has plans to go visit the University of Notre Dame.
Well, I know one thing. Over the years as I coached, coaches would come in and they watch a young man play to see if he had heart and speed, and he has both. And they'd watch a guy on a breakaway run like that, and if they hit 2 strides every 5 yards, they turned off the projector and said, "Where can I talk to the young man?"
That kickoff return for a touchdown, not the longest in 3A history. The longest is 92 yards for a touchdown by Rich Skiles of Taylor Ridge, Rockridge back in 1987, but it was close.
Well, and what the frustrating part of that all was from the perspective of the Oregon Hawks, they had just put together such a nice drive, and that's all part of the game, the big play, the kicking game.
Squib kick bobbled momentarily by the Hawks and then picked up, and the returner goes nowhere for Oregon. So now we're going to have the answer to our football trivia quiz for the second half. Name the southernmost Illinois team to win a football state title. The answer is Anna Jonesboro. Back in 1984, right here in Class 3A. AJ, from just not far south of Harrisburg, a little bit to the west and to the south of Harrisburg, but not by much. And Oregon back on offense here after going 80 yards and 17 plays last time they had it. Pickup of a couple. Anna Jonesboro actually located just a little bit south of Carbondale on Route 51.
That's down in your neck of the woods, isn't it, Jim?
I'm a graduate of SIU Carbondale. Kind of an interesting situation for me. I'm from Sterling, which is about 25 miles from Oregon, and I went to school in Carbondale, which is not too far from Harrisburg. We've got a timeout on the field. So it's basically all over but the shouting here. 41-13. Harrisburg on top of Oregon. 6:50 left to go in the game. A timeout taken. And tomorrow, a lot more football. 3 more state championships will be decided tomorrow. And we'll talk about those games as we progress on here in the 4th quarter. Right now, Lee Hall is standing by with some information for us. Lee, you look cold down there, buddy.
It is beautiful down here. You guys are complaining about the wind. Come on down here, and the wind is right here. Let me tell you. 41-13, it's a difference of, 28 points. Biggest margin of victory in a 3A title game back in 1980 when Morris won 40-0. The losing team in that game, you guessed it, Harrisburg. Lost 40-0. That's the biggest margin of victory in a 3A title game. So Harrisburg's on the other end of it tonight. Back up to you.
All right, thanks for that info, Lee. It's going to be 2nd down and 5 here for the Hawks out of the timeout. And Whalen, the ball carrier. Not much room to roam for Dan Whalen, who just scored a touchdown a few moments ago.
Well, Jim, Oregon needs to get right back in the sync with what they were doing. I don't think they're going to start airing it out with 6 minutes to go. They just like to get on the board again and play with pride.
And they have done that here in the second half. John Bothy should be very proud of the way his team has come out here in the second half. I agree. 3rd down and 5 for the Hawks. And it's Pedroza on a counter. Tony Pedroza fighting forward, and he's very close to the 1st down.
That's the counter play again, and big number 75, Dave pulling out in front, 6'7", 275-pound lineman. It's interesting. That's what makes football so great. You got a 155-pounder and a 275-pounder running right next to each other, trying to accomplish the same thing. Move the ball down the field.
Exactly. It's a team game. 11 parts working together. You need all shapes and sizes to be a good football team. A first down for Oregon. And the fullback, again, Akins up the middle, close to another first down for the Hawks. And Akins continues to mount up the yardage here in the second half.
Doing a nice job running the right side, coming back to the left side. Looks like a different Oregon offense. We'll have a chance to see this one as they come off. There's a nice down block. There's Wubin blocking out on the outside. And Akins follows his blockers right up that guard tackle seam.
Akins up to 88 yards in the game. Wishbone backfield this time. And it's going to be Pedroza with the carry for the Hawks.
And in that wishbone set, a lot like the T formation. It's just a little different variation of it, but you get a lot of lead blocking going on by your running backs.
Let me correct myself. Roshai was the ball carrier on that one, Jim Roshai, not Pedroza. They're of similar ilk, are Pedroza and Roshai. Second down and 7 after the 3-yard run by Roshai. Short gain on that run by Oregon. Whalen was the ball carrier.
Nice play by Corey Potts on the tackle.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented for the entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the expressed written consent of the Illinois High School Association is strictly prohibited. Third down and 6 coming up. The Hawks in the game, 6 for 12 on third down conversions. They have receivers left and right, tight slots to the left and right as well. They spread the field and give it to the fullback Akins, and it's not going to be enough for a first down.
They're coming out more in that double slot formation, Jim, in this second half, and just gives them a little bit more variety of where they can hand the ball. 4th and about 2, I think they have a shot at making this.
No reason not to go for it now.
No, that's for sure.
4:15 to go in the game. 4th and 3 upcoming in the game. Oregon has already converted 1 4th down opportunity. Double tights and a wishbone. They give it to the second man through the hole, and the Harrisburg defense up to the occasion. Harrisburg stopping Oregon on downs. It was Roshai, the ball carrier, and he didn't get it. So it is a first down for Harrisburg before the Bulldogs take over on offense. We go down to the field for Lee Hall. Lee.
Jim, I know you're dying to make fun of my hat. I know that. My wife made fun of it. Somebody already asked me where my horse was. On a cold night, you got to be prepared. So I had plenty of hats. I had this hat. I figured Cowboys. No, that's, you know, you got to be impartial in a game like this. Then I had this one. Is right here.
Ooh.
All right.
Good for football or a duck blind. Let me tell you, this is Void our Turbo, eat your heart out.
All right, a man of many hats, dare we say.
That last hat was more of the play action pass kind of deal, you know, a little sneaky, undercover. The earmuffs are what get me.
3:40 to go in the game. Braden Jones on Oregon's first play from scrimmage picked up 8. It's going to be 2nd and 2. Straight T formation backfield. Up the middle, Potts, the fullback, first down.
Just hammering away now, Jim. Eating some clock, working their way to their first state title. The Bulldogs, Coach Al Way, when you spent 20 years and you've had a good program, it's just, you realize how special it is to get into a game like this.
It's hard to do this. It's hard to win a state championship because it's more than just having talented players. You've got to be a little bit lucky. And there you see our player of the game, Nathan Potts, 19 carries, 104 yards, and 3 touchdowns, tying the state championship game record in Class 3A, and the player of the game brought to you by the Dairy Farmers of Illinois. Correction, it's brought to you by the Country Companies. By Country Companies, real people, real answers, real quick.
And certainly he's very deserving of that award, and he's a two-way player like a lot of these young men, you know. They're working on both sides of the football, just like they did in the old days. Getting a lot both sides, offense and defense.
As we were calling him the player of the game, Potts got 8 more yards to go over 100. And with the carry this time, Jeff McDonald trying to get off the right side, and the Oregon defense pushes him back. We're down to the 2:18 mark of the fourth quarter. So we're going to have a third down call coming up for Coach Alway and the Bulldogs from Harrisburg.
Be some more exciting football tomorrow, too, Jim.
Yes, we've got 3 more games tomorrow, the 4A, 5A, and 6A. State championship games coming up in 4A, Metamora against Joliet Catholic at 11 at 3 o'clock. New Lenox Providence against Chicago Mount Carmel. Third down play here for Harrisburg. Again, McDonald trying to get off the right side, nothing doing. So fourth down coming up for the Bulldogs. In Class 6A, it'll be Park Ridge, Maine South against Glenbard North out of Carroll Stream, and the 6A game tomorrow night begins at 7 o'clock. So again, 11, 3, and 7 for the 4A, 5A, and 6A state title games tomorrow, right here on the IHSA Television Network. As you look at the fact that the last 4 state champions in Class 3A have all gone undefeated. That includes Harrisburg here tonight with just over a minute to go. Braden Jones with the carry off the right side. A penalty flag comes in from behind the play.
And Braden Jones carrying that pigskin for probably one of the last times he'll ever do it in high school.
There's plenty more football left ahead
no doubt.
For Mr. Jones.
He's very versatile. Very versatile. I think he could be a linebacker, running back, lots of different positions.
Actually, Northwestern and Notre Dame are thinking about possibly using him as a receiver as well.
No doubt. And he's big enough to become a tight end at some time, too.
We have a holding call on the
holding
offense.
Call on Harrisburg.
Penalties
Those
decline.
last 4 undefeated
First down.
state champions in Class 3A. Carterville, Maple Park, Canelan twice.
Wow.
Byron last year, and then Harrisburg makes it 5 consecutive undefeated champions in Class 4A. Correction, Class 3A. There you see Alway as he's starting to put in some of his reserves. You really got to feel good for Coach Way. 20 years at the helm of this program. They've been good. They've been close, but they've been unable to get over the hump. We had a change of possession on downs as Oregon declined the holding penalty, and they take over with a football. A pass down the right side, a leaping attempt is made, and it's caught. Oh, what a grab by Tim Danielson along the right side.
That's one of the finest catches you'll see in any level as you watch Chad Messer come back here, drop back on a little half roll, throw that ball, and look at number 80, Tim Danielson, lay out for that ball. What a great catch. What a great memory for that young man with less than a minute left to go in a state championship game.
And to be able to do that here at Memorial Stadium in Champaign.
He'll tell people about that one when he's our age, and they won't believe it, but he'll have a video to prove it.
Messer running option. He's going to keep it across the 50, and then he's going to be wrestled down as he gets to the 48. 35 seconds to go in the game.
Well, if you're Coach Alway, this is when you got to be careful in case there's somebody with a cold water or Gatorade around tonight. I don't know.
That would be an awful cold shower here tonight, that's for sure. Alway very well respected in the Harrisburg community, and like we said before, you just got to feel good for the guy. Messer looking to throw. He's in trouble, and he's thrown down a sack back to the 49-yard line, and that could be, and it will be, the final play of the ball game. It's counting down right now. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and that will do it. The Harrisburg Bulldogs are the state champions in Class 3A for the year 2000, and Alway did get drenched. You just saw it there. He doesn't care right now, just a very happy man.
He's wet and happy.
And not a bad thing to be, right? 41-13, the Bulldogs knock off Oregon here in the 3A state championship game on this Friday night. All the post-game festivities are coming up, but right now, we're going to take a break. This is the IHSA Television Network.
Welcome back to Memorial Stadium. The Harrisburg Bulldogs, your 3A state champions, 41-13 over the Oregon Hawks. We are with head coach Al Way, who is trying to shake off, they call it a Gatorade shower, but that looks like water.
Yeah, ice water, yes.
Perfect night for an ice water shower, isn't it? Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'll tell you what, if ever there was a group of kids that deserve this, you know, I know it sounds very like a cliche, but this is a super bunch of kids because they're good people. They come from good families. You've got a lot of good students in this group, and you really appreciate it that much more when you have kids like this have this type of success.
How tough is it? You're the #1 team all season to go wire to wire #1 and win a state championship.
I'll tell you what, you talk about pressure. I mean, I can finally start to sleep again now. You know, you've got that #1 bullseye on your back from day one, and everybody's got it up on their bulletin board. Everybody's shooting to get you. And our kids have just responded so well. They've stayed focused. They've went game to game. They've never got the big head. They've never started talking about a state championship. All they talked about was the next week. And again, I think that's such a tribute to the kids.
I thought they did a great job tonight, too, shaking off an early play that went against them, that fumble, and then Oregon takes it in. You're down 7-0 right away, and this must be Mrs. Way.
Yes, it is. A lot warmer than I am.
No, but tell me about how your kids shook off what could have been a devastating opening play. They get down right away on the scoreboard, but they didn't get down mentally.
That's right, and I'm so happy to see that because we got the snap a little bit late. We didn't get the handoff, and of course, immediately they're ahead 7-0, and you're thinking all kinds of bad things are going to happen. Our kids bounced right back, took the ball down the field, and scored. And really, you know, about the only time we got stopped tonight was when the penalty stopped us. You know, and that's something else I'm really proud of. We've scored a lot of points this year. We've been versatile. We run the ball, we throw the ball, and again, this goes back to the capabilities of our kids, our offensive line, our defensive line. We knew had to control the line of scrimmage, and you know, we felt like that was a key, and it was.
After 20 years, it's got to be sweet, and they did it the Al way. Congratulations, Coach. 41-13, your final. Let's go back upstairs.
All right, there you hear from Al Way in 20 years with Harrisburg, now his first state championship, and you really feel good for him and the entire Harrisburg community because this means a lot to the small community. And like Al said, a lot of great kids in this team, kids you can really root for, and that really makes it special.
Well, and he mentioned a lot of them were excellent students, so we want to congratulate Harrisburg and Coach Al Way. He didn't avoid the Gatorade bath, but I'm sure he'll get a hot bath later. Just a wonderful season for him. And Oregon also had a great season, and they have to be real proud of it, their season, and they're going to end up with a wonderful trophy in their trophy case also.
Exactly, and you know, Oregon had never been this far before, and a chance to finish second and get a trophy, that's a big deal. Tyler Rumsey, Braden Jones, Brad Brashear, the captains, down on the podium right now accepting their medallions. Nathan Potts is also down there. It wasn't, not Brashear, but Potts is on the podium, along with Jones and Rumsey. 41-13. Harrisburg over Oregon tonight in the 3A state championship game, the first football state title for Harrisburg, and overall the 5th state title that Harrisburg has won. They've won 3 times in track, 1 time in baseball, and now 1 time in football.
Very special football team. They had all the ingredients, Jim, don't you think? Great defensive line play, passing game, running game, they do it all. They could play year in and year out with this group of guys and win several state championships with this team.
Braden Jones with tears in his eyes as he holds on to that state championship trophy and shows it to the fans. We're going to take a break here from Memorial Stadium. We'll have more. Harrisburg has just been crowned state champion in Class 3A. We'll have more after this local break. Back at Memorial Stadium in Champaign, 41-13. There you see the final score in the Class 3A state championship game. And we're going to look at some of the final stats from this win for Harrisburg. There you see it. 271 yards rushing for the Bulldogs, 386 yards of offense. And those numbers for Oregon, much, much better here at the end of the game than they were at halftime.
Most definitely, Jim. Oregon really played a nice second half, and that's something they can be proud of. I think they had about 30 or 40 yards of total offense in the first half.
And they were able to get a touchdown off a long drive where the Hawks in the second half, and that time of possession was very much in favor of Harrisburg at halftime, and it's been equaled out a little bit. We're going to see the touchdown catch made by Brad Brashear right here. The pass to the left flat, breaks a tackle there and takes it into the end zone for a touchdown here in the second half. And then the exclamation point on this season for the Harrisburg Bulldogs, that man right there, Braden Jones, taking a kickoff after Oregon had just scored. Look at that speed. And once he got to the 50, nobody on this football field was going to catch him. An 86-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Braden Jones, we might be seeing him play on Saturday afternoon sometime soon.
I agree with you, and there may be some of his teammates out there going on to play ball after this, but who knows if they'll be as successful as they've been this season.
But it has been a great run for Harrisburg, an undefeated season. Harrisburg ends up at 14-0, winning the championship. Oregon, their best season ever for the Hawks. They finish at 12-2 and in second place in the state of Illinois. Again, 3 more state championship games are coming up tomorrow. The 4A game between Metamora and Joliet Catholic begins at 4. The Class 5A game at 3. The Class 6A game at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Jim, thanks. It was a lot of fun tonight.
Been fun watching these guys play.
The winners today, Carthage, Stillman Valley, and Harrisburg. We're halfway home here in state championship football for the year 2000. In this game, Harrisburg over Oregon, 41-13. So long, everybody.